Hello, everyone. Welcome to Crown Knowledge Radio. This is Jordana Raffia, and we are back. I'm back with another post, another session, another energy check, another checkup on what's happening around the planet right now so far. If you just happen to hear the motors running and the engines revving and the cars bumping and the cans clashing and the hammers knocking or whatever you hear in the background, yes, you are correct, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the fans. Where my fans at? They're right outside my window. That's where they're at. So that is confirmation. So if you hear that in the background, I'm not going to apologize for them. It is what it is. Those are the flunkies, junkies, and the flying monkeys that are paid to uphold the noise campaign, as you all know. Yep, we're still in that thing. We still are doing what we do according to the Most High God. And just real quick, God always gives us little small reminders, if we're paying attention, really big reminders that they, he, she, it, the force, the powers that be, or the Most High power is still in control. And I just got one of those based on just reminiscing about my mom and her past, and someone just happened to pick up the phone that if otherwise I hadn't called this particular number, they probably would have never picked up. We probably wouldn't have clicked. So just those little things that you have, those wow moments when God will come through and let you know, hey, I'm still in control. They can try to block you, but I'm still in control. They can do the noise outside, but I'm still in control. They can follow you around. They can track you. They can try everything, which they have as far as my situation goes, and still thinking of stupid shit to do. But they have tried everything and anything possible to fight with the Most High, because this is not my fight. Again, if you guys have not heard my situation or know anything about it, Crown Knowledge Radio, I am on Substack, Patreon, archive shows on Spreaker.com. I am posting links to Instagram, trying to find out what's going on with YouTube, but I'm still posting. But if you just, Google me, Crown Knowledge Radio, Jordana anywhere, there's only one. There's only one daughter of infinite love. There's only one goddess of divine light, and that is Jordana, and this is Crown Knowledge Radio. So, with that being said, I am back with just another energy check on what is happening. Again, I kind of let you guys know where I'm going. Sometimes I pick up information along the way, and this was one of those moments. This past couple of days, picked up some information on a Mr. Derek Robinson of Freedom House. Freedom House is a program I do believe in, like I said, just on the information that I've looked up thus far. And I did call in for one of the conference calls. It just seems like maybe a comfort area for someone who has been targeted, who has been the victim of gang stalking, who has experienced what most of us have gone through. There again, there's no way that this many people would be telling the same lie. That would be weird. It's lots and lots and hundreds of thousands. But where I picked up the story was on a News 6 mainstream news show. I think it's WMKR. I'll have to check again to see if that was actually correct. But let me see. I want to say it was a KMIR News 6. That's KMIR News 6. It was a mainstream news show about individuals who had been targeted. These individuals had been targeted over several years. One of those individuals on this news show indicated that he had been targeted for some years, but he worked for a federal judge. I thought that was interesting. And again, this is mainstream. This is mainstream news. This isn't something that I can make up. There's no way that news show could have been fake. And they interviewed several individuals who had been a victim of this particular type of targeting and gang stalking. They actually called it gang stalking in the news program. So again, there's no way. There is no possible way that several 100,000 individuals could be telling the same lie. That's not possible. So what is really happening? I urge you guys to, again, pull that up. It was in a reaction videos file, so you could probably Google it under YouTube or Google KMIR news show gang stalking, and it will probably come up. I can't make that up. So for those naysayers, and the guy that posted the video, if you do pull up the reaction video, he says it clearly. He said, I was one of those people who called individuals that said this was happening to them. Remember, I just did a post on crazy, right? Calling people crazy. He said he was one of those people that was calling people crazy. Yeah, you're crazy. Nothing's happening to you. You're making this up. Something's wrong. Maybe you're having a nervous breakdown. Maybe you're having a stroke. Maybe did somebody slip you a Mickey? What's going on? Like, yeah, there's no way that this is happening. Like the stuff, the way you're saying it and the way you're saying it's happening cannot possibly happening. And voila, he's the one that posted the news show and changed his view. He said, wait a minute. This is quite a few people, like all over the world, not just in the United States, that are saying the same thing, and now they're being diagnosed with certain things based on direct energy devices. Something's not right. Something in the water ain't meshing. Something's not mixing. So what is it? What could it possibly be? So I'm jumping on here today to bring attention to the KMIR News 6 show that interviewed these particular gentlemen. And like I said, one of them indicated on the show that they used to work for a federal judge. Now, again, you've heard me say this over and over again. If you have listened to any of my shows, listened to any of my posts, everybody's situation is different. Everybody does not fall under some type of quote unquote whistleblower. Not everybody is a whistleblower. Sometimes this is just pure outright jealousy that's being said. This is pure outright workplace retaliation. It could be just that simple. Somebody, you stuck up for yourself. You stood 10 toes down on what you thought was right and went through the proper channels. And lo and behold, somebody now feels like you should be targeted if they have that type of connection. So in some instances, it could be a military connection. They have connections to the military to be able to obtain some type of information or have you put under some type of program to be targeted and gang stalked, and direct energy devices used on you as a form of torture and retaliation. Most of the time, that's what the issue is. Now, how, they said this could be private organizations. The gentleman that I mentioned in the beginning, Mr. Derek Robinson, he has also indicated that some are private companies, some are private militia. You never know. Some of these are just average public citizens that are seeking retaliation or somehow otherwise connected, and those people that are also paid to join these particular groups, organizations, or programs. So he mentions that specifically in this news article. I cannot make this up. I can't make it up. When you go on Substack and you hear individuals say, hey, the people that moved in my neighborhood around me, and I'm going to talk about that in just a minute, because the individuals that moved in my neighborhood initially have moved out, and now there are new people moving in. Are they changing shifts? Are they switching out teams? Are they trying to make it look like the people who were initially involved in this when I got here were never involved? What's actually happening? Because there are individuals actually moving out these same houses, and new folks are moving in, or different people, different watchers, different stalkers, different flunkies, junkies, flying monkeys. I don't know. But the faces have changed. The behavior is still going on, but the faces have changed. The behavior is still happening, but the faces have changed. And towards the end of the show, I'll let you guys know about an incident that happened. It's just unbelievable. But again, the behavior has not changed, but the faces, the cars that are parked in the driveways and that pull in, the individual garages, the individuals that sit outside or are parked on the streets, the next street over, those particular people may have been updated and changed a little bit. But the behavior is still the same. Everything is still going on. The devices are still being used. The noise campaign is still going strong. The smear campaigns are still out there. Some people are seeing the truth. Others don't care because they're being paid. They just don't care. As long as I'm getting paid, I'm good. So with that, again, this show, like I said, I watch reaction, and if anybody watches reaction videos, and if you're into that kind of thing, you know, lots of different information, different individuals. It's only a handful that I kind of follow along with because it's just easier. The information is clear, it's precise, they're consistent. They don't waste a lot of time on BS. They'll give their reaction and move forward. So those are the ones I kind of tend to watch. And this particular one I hadn't watched in a while. Although I appreciate its information, I hadn't watched it in like a few weeks, several weeks. And when it came up, one of the first excerpts that he was reacting to was this Gangstalking news show. With these particular individuals being interviewed about how they are being targeted. Now, for the most part, they were speaking about direct energy attacks. Being attacked, harmed, injured by direct energy devices. Which I have repeated several times that this particular information is available. So now, I went to their website, and one of the things that they made certain that they listed on that website is about contacting authorities, which is one of the reasons why I understand now why there is targetedjustice.com and a couple of other organizations. If you want to go over there on substack.com and check those out, if you just enter Gangstalking and search, a lot of those organizations and individuals who have done the work and done the research in trying to find out what exactly gangstalking is and why it even exists. But one of the main ones is targetedjustice.com, and this one, which is Freedom House, the People Against Illegal and Covert Surveillance, or something to that effect. It's called PACT International, I do believe. PACT International. And it's Mr. Derek Robinson, I believe, and his colleagues who have developed this particular program in order to I don't know, assist individuals. I'm still looking. I'm still watching. Like I said, I did call in for one of the conference calls, and it just seemed to me at that particular moment, because there was not a lot going on, that it was a comfort area. I don't know what else to call it. I felt like they're in here just to, I don't know, let other TIs know that, we're all in this together. We get that. Targeted Justice kind of does that as well. Theirs is set up more of a kind of a research and interactive broadcast news, or post your particular situation. And they've also added, for Targeted Justice, a situation where you can submit, which I have done on a couple of occasions, documentation to get your particular situation looked at. And I will continue to do that. I will, once again, reiterate and start to submit those things again and again and again and again. One of the biggest things for Substack is telling your story. So if you are not over on Substack.com and you are not saying what happened, a lot of those, individuals and gentlemen looked maybe, a little more mature. Maybe they're not on social media. Maybe they don't subscribe to Substack or any of those other social media platforms, and they can't do it. So the only thing they had left to do was take it to the news, which was I thought was phenomenal. And again, if you will hear some of my past posts, this has already been on mainstream news. It might be called something else. It might be called illegal surveillance. Again, I'll remind you of the young lady that lived with her 8-year-old son and discovered hidden cameras in her home. The police hid a recording device, and they actually heard the drilling inside her home when her and her 8-year-old son were not at home. That's a horrible feeling. I know for a fact that someone has entered my home. Could be hidden cameras in here right now. Who knows? But it was just the fact that she has a child. So I get her concern. My concern is, just someone coming in the house, but I don't particularly care whether they can see or hear me. Again, because if you are a criminal, that's something that you would be concerned about. Like, I need to find the cameras. I don't. I need to find out where they're listening from. I don't. I absolutely don't. And number 3 is because I'm on social media and I'm telling my story. And I'm telling my story the way that I'm experiencing it. And I think that anyone who feels like they are being targeted, just like these gentlemen who went to the news, if you are not talking about it, people will understand in their own mind that it never happened. So shout out to Targeted Justice, shout out to Derek Robinson and Freedom House and other organizations like that who are bringing this stuff to mainstream social platforms and to the community at large, bringing it to their attention. Speak your story out loud. Speak the truth. Tell the truth. Because the devil don't rock with the truth at all. So you have to tell the truth. You have to tell the truth of what is actually happening. There is no way possible that hundreds of thousands of individuals could be telling the same lie. That would be weird. That would be very, very strange. They talked a lot about neural chips and links that may be affecting, your brain, and V2K, which is something that I don't experience. I don't experience voices. I don't hear voices. I talk to myself, but I also talk to the Most High. I also talk to my ancestors. Anybody that understands that will know what I'm talking about. Anybody that don't will say, well, Dordana, that means you're crazy. It absolutely does not. It absolutely does not. You will be surprised. And people say, well, you're talking to people that you don't see, and well, if you pray, That's what that is too. Sometimes if you meditate within, that's what that is too. So if you don't get to know who you are, people will easily be able to manipulate what they want you to be. Let me say that one more time. If you don't discover your inner self and who you are, if you don't know how to talk to the Most High, if you don't know how to talk to your higher self, if you think that's weird and creepy, just wait until someone makes you do something that lands you in prison based on them controlling you with some other type of device. I can't make it up. I'm not saying anything that's weird. It's already out there. I don't create devices. There are people out there who are doing that right now. It's called MK Ultra if you haven't heard of it. It's called V2K if you haven't heard of it. And so on and so on. Hello, Neuralink and Elon Musk. They're trying to make us feel like this is going to be normal. It is not. God gave you divine consciousness for a reason. The Most High calls his relationship personal for a reason. No one should be listening to your private thoughts without them coming out of your mouth. That's evil. That's just me. That's Jordana, Crown Knowledge Radio. That is evil for someone to be able to read your mind. No one can read my mind because I keep the Most High in me. I keep my vibration and my frequency on a channel that nobody can find. They can guess. Anybody can guess. Well, I think she's going to do this. If we do that, then she's going to go here and she's going to do that. And then we'll be back here and we'll go this way and she'll go that way. And we'll come around and we'll head it off at the path. That's called blocking. You can block me all day long. That's fine. But you can't, your literal divine consciousness is God. You can call it what you want to. You don't have to call it God if you don't want to. The Most High Power, the creator of all intelligence, including AI, like the creator of all that is. I don't know what you want to call it. Call it whatever you want to call it. But you, how does the play go? Your arms are too short to box with God. Correct. The fight that these particular gang stalkers, illegal surveillance programs, private organizations, retaliation, whatever the case may be, that fight is with God. Because most often you don't know who your perpetrators are. Most often. I just recently found out that family member was paid or paid off. Family members. Family meaning family. Family to me is anybody that knows me personally or knows someone in my family. So if you're connected by family, if you a family friend, if you a friend of a family member, if you a play cousin twice removed on my granddaddy's side, or else, or otherwise, and you were paid to do something hateful and harmful because someone handed you some type of reward, you're involved. That puts you directly involved in whatever's happening. I don't care who you are. Child, grandfather, aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, nephew, brother, or sister. If someone told you, hey, your family member is under investigation. This is what we want to do. Can you help us do it? We'll do this for you, or we'll do that for you, or we'll make sure you don't get caught. Really? And for the most part, most family members believed it. They're in. I'm in. I don't like it because that speaks volumes about who they think you are. That somehow in the back of their mind, now not all family members, some just need the money. I get it. I do. Some of them just, shit, I need to, damn, my rent is late, my car note due, my insurance, yeah, you know what? I really want to go out of town for the 4th of July. I hate to do it to fam, but shit, they say they ain't gonna hurt her. They just fucking with her a little bit. Maybe I need to. You got them family members, and then you have I knew it was something weird about her. She was weird. I knew he was always strange and doing shit. I knew that family member was crazy. Yeah, I don't like this bitch anyway. Like, you got those family members. And then you have the family members that are like, but are you sure? What proof do you have? Oh yeah, she did this to me. She stole this from me. And so that's the smear campaign. That's when they have to tell a lie to convince those particular individuals who aren't quite yet convinced. Yeah, well, when she was here, she did this and she took that, and then they put those alphabet people on her. She got somebody investigating her because she did this when she lived here, and she did this, she stole this, she hurt somebody, she hurt me, she took this from us, she took that, and now we got them authorities following her around. It's true. But you still don't have a receipt. Nobody showed you any proof. Nobody showed you any court documents, unless they were forged, that says that this is what's happening. And nobody's come to that family member and said, hey, somebody told me that you were... And that's the weird part for me. Nobody is asking me. Nobody has come to me and said, hey, I heard so-and-so and such and such. Is that true? Nobody. Not one... Not one family member, not one friend, not one perpetrator, not one flunky, junkie, or flying monkey has come to me and said, hey. So that says a lot. That says, number one, they probably know it's a lie. Nobody's saying anything. That, to me, now to somebody else it might show something. That's number one. Number one, it proves to me that whatever group that person is in, they know it is not true. They know it. But they want the money. Or another side group of that is that they know the truth and I ain't getting involved in that. I don't care. I ain't saying nothing to so-and-so, and I don't want no parts of that. A couple of those individuals are no longer here. Let me just say that again. A couple of those individuals who probably wanted to tell me the truth, they're no longer here. Well, they're not. What you mean they're no longer here? They're no longer with us in the land of the living. And then the group that I didn't like, I don't like her no way. Those individuals, well, we get it. They probably, once again, know that it's not true, but they don't care. I want to see something happen to this person anyway. So, yeah, I don't care. Oh, how much you gonna pay me? You go, shit, you gonna pay my car? No, yeah, I'm in. I ain't never liked them no way. They seem to always land on their feet. That was a statement made to me, an actual statement. You always seem to land on your feet. So you mad at God? You're actually mad at God. And you'll hear me say that in a couple of my posts. That's what that says to me. But I actually had someone that long ago I considered maybe a friend that said, you always seem to land on your feet. So you're mad at God because that's how I land on my feet. You're actually angry with the Most High. That's kind of weird to me. That's kind of weird. I see somebody show up with a new car, I'll be like, oh, dang, ain't God good? Instead of saying, yeah, you always seem to be lucky. No, I know the Most High. I know what and who and why the Most High is. That's what that is. Yeah, I wanna see them down on their luck and out in the street begging. What? So you don't like the decision that God made in somebody's life? Let me say that again. Let me say it louder for the bitches in the back. You are mad about a decision that God made in somebody's life, so you gonna fight to change what God did? Good luck. That's all I can say. Good luck. And a lot of individuals say, well, these programs have been going on for a while. There are several individuals who are no longer, several hundred individuals who are no longer with us because they either got caught up in the program, they refused to go along with the program, they refused to conform, or they wanted to quote unquote whistleblow on particular individuals and or programs, and it ended them no longer here. They were part of the process. You can say fortunate or unfortunate if you know anything about the spiritual side of things. So I'm not going to get too deep into that, but those individuals served a purpose. They gave the ultimate sacrifice for whatever this is or why ever it was created. But the thing that does my heart good is that mainstream news media, and not just social media, because not everybody believes what they hear on social media. And then we have AI to contend with. But you have mainstream news, interviews, and information that came on and actually called it by name, by what it was. I wish they would have just said the whole name out: illegal and covert surveillance and stalking is basically what it is. But they called it by name. They called it gangstalking. In this news program, I can't make this up. So why? And so going back to Reverend Dr. I do believe he's going by, or Dr. Reverend Derek Robinson, and this program that he has called Freedom House, which is part of the Pact International, if I'm saying that correctly. But if you Google Derek Robinson, you'll see it. And again, I did call in a couple of days ago for one of the conference calls. Again, I just got like a common social comfort area where people can come and, maybe get information. I don't know. I haven't attended enough. I haven't gotten enough information to see if this is interactive. Are they actually, it seems to me like they are actually trying to take things to court, to Congress, to the Department of Justice, which is absolutely fantastic. I am still, even after 10, almost 15 years of being targeted at this point, probably longer, and I wasn't aware, trying to figure out why something like this would even exist. If it was back in the 30s, 40s, or 50s, meant to do something else, how the muzzle got turned on private. How did the barrel get turned onto private citizens? How did that happen? Where did the turn happen? If it was to protect individuals of the United States and other countries, I would imagine whatever countries we're allied with, if it was something developed to protect, it was supposed to serve and protect. When did the turn happen? When did the muzzle get turned on private citizens? Hello, hi, it's me. I have my hand raised. I'm over here taking care of family members, trying to grocery shop and get my car fixed, and every now and then, go out and do something fun, and all of a sudden I'm a target? Why? And again, that laundry list of why is long, depending on where you fall in the spectrum, all the way from higher up, higher levels of secrecy and ranking and, covert, we'll never find out, all the way down to a 60-year-old woman on a bus trying to get home from work, and she ended up severely attacked and unalived. She was just trying to get home from work. If you haven't seen that story. So between the higher ranking classified individuals way up high that was a quote unquote, this person was a whistleblower, and it has to do with the UK and Russia and China and anybody else and all of that kind of stuff that we probably won't know about it unless we get into it on that level. Not a lot of people get into it on that level, but there are some individuals over there on Substack that they broke down all of that for us, so you can go over there and get that information and find out how it trickles down to a woman in the kitchen frying chicken. I don't understand. I don't understand how it trickles way up high, all the way down to a dude in the backyard fixing a tire on his car, and all of a sudden he feels V2K out of nowhere. I don't understand. I don't get how that can happen. But trust and believe it's happening. I am living proof, and there are hundreds of thousands of other individuals who are also living proof of whatever this is. Some people say it is human experimentation. Well, now that's not my lane, but if you are a high vibrational being, that could be true. If you know what I mean, if you understand seated individuals, coded individuals, and you are a high vibrational being, somehow that might be true. And again, if you want to get the information and you want to understand that on a deeper level, there are individuals who have done that research. They've done that research. They have the science to back it up. And they can also give you a better explanation of it than I can. All I know is that I rock with the Most High. I understand my divine assignment. I do. Doesn't always look pretty. It's not supposed to. Not every day. I've had my moment in the mirror, but then I had to take a real look in the mirror. They said, they can do this kind of work on you and that kind of work on you to make you ugly and lose your hair. That could be true, but genetically I was going to lose my hair anyway. So most of the women in my family, not all of them, but most of the women that are blood related to me lost their hair anyway. So it was genetically going to happen. It wasn't no, hoodoo. Yeah, that's not why. Oh, she used to have, or with this particular device, you can get scratches and scars. That is true. I have the scratches and scars to prove it. That is very true. You can be, just the sleep deprivation alone will give you dark circles under your eyes. Again, I have bigger fish to fry. I'm not going out buying concealer and other things, but I am buying stuff to keep my body healthy and help with those cosmetic things that I might see that needs a little help. But I've never been an advocate of makeup. I'm still not. I don't get it, ladies. Maybe somebody can explain it to me. Well, if I rock like that in the world socially, it might be different. Doesn't matter to Alicia Keys, and she's a superstar. So shout out to Alicia Keys and no makeup. But, and I think she's drop dead gorgeous without it. And most women are. Let me say that again. Most women look better without makeup. Makeup, I don't know. And again, no disrespect to makeup. I'll get back on the subject in a minute, y'all. I just got to go here for a second. But no disrespect to makeup, because we've been doing it for eons. Way back during the time of the pyramids and other stuff. And African tribes have worn face paint and all types of stuff. So it's not unusual for, fast forward present day 2026, for women to be professional makeup artists. We've been that. all from ancient times. So there's no, but there are those women who just like, I don't see it. I don't know why. What's the point? Every now and then I like a little something, something, depending on what I'm doing. Maybe I just feel like putting on mascara one day and some lip gloss, whatever the case might be. But saying all of that is they say, oh, they're the shut up magic and the beauty magic and the so and so magic, and oh, I want you to be fat so won't nobody love you, and there's a whole website dedicated to overweight women and the men who love them. Trust me, I have seen it. And these men, most of them are not bad to look at. And the women are over 400 plus pounds. So that ain't it. So yeah, don't give these weirdos any power. Yeah, they're just weird people doing weird things for $1. And they don't know anything else. They don't know how to speak to the Most High. They don't understand the divinity in them. Maybe some of them don't have that divinity in them, and I get it. So before you label anything, oh, they're doing this and they're doing that, and oh, they're gonna put a curse on your bank account, that stuff is weird. Like, some stuff just is what it is, but other stuff, somebody saying, oh, we're gonna make you wear your 400 pounds. 400 pounds is 400 pounds, but if you sick and you 400 pounds, that's one thing. But I'm telling you, and I know I don't have to tell most people, you can spin around, throw a rock on YouTube, on social media, anywhere, and there is a group for everyone. Even for those who don't believe in the Most High. But again, shout out to Mr. Derek Robinson, Freedom House, and the PAC International organization that is creating a space for targeted individuals to be heard, to be recognized, to be assisted, to be helped in some kind of way. And again, I'm still, trying to look at some knowledge here and there. Maybe not everything, because everything isn't for everybody. Depending on where you are, I still say the most important thing is telling your story. Telling your story exposes the truth about what's really happening. The old preachers back in the day, the only way to expose the devil is to tell the truth. One way to defeat the devil is telling the truth. The devil don't rock with the truth. The truth is not in the realm of what the devil does in order to win your soul. They're going to lie to you. Those people who are being used by demons, they're going to lie to you. They're going to lie to you and tell you, hey man, look, you deserve this. Hey, look, chick, look, you can do this and be the baddest chick on the block. You can do this, and yeah, they're going to use flunkies, junkies, and flying monkeys. Why? Because they're easy. They already have an addiction that can't be quenched. No matter how much they get, no matter how much they try, no matter how much they're given, no matter how much evil, diabolical shit they do, it's never going to be enough. They're never going to see it. They're not going to see the karma when it comes, because they're so busy focused on, how can I get this? How can I keep doing this? How can I get this going? How can I? And you're part of your particular type of quote unquote family. I'm accepted. People come see me. They check on me. They hand me $1. They ride by. They pull up with a discount card. They help me get groceries. People like me. They come sit on my porch and have a little swig with me. Every now and then, I'm accepted. They know my name. They know who I am. And they also know your vices. They know your weaknesses too. They know them probably better than you do. So with that being said, check out Derek Robinson, Freedom House for targeted individuals. There are call-ins every week. I will probably be checking out maybe one or two later. It was a lot of people on the conference line that night that I logged in, and even one of his co-hosts mentioned that it's a little crowded in here for a Monday, but you all know why. And that's okay too. It's all right. But continue to tell your story, continue to speak out loudly, and most importantly, tell the truth. Yeah, back in the day, what was it? Tell the truth and shame the devil? Still stands true. It's a classic, but it still stands true. If you tell the truth, the devil is going to be pissed off about you telling the truth. And it shows. The weapons are more often, the noise is louder, the diabolical behavior gets weirder. Oh, and that reminded me, I was going to tell you guys a story. So my brother and I were out on an appointment. We pull up to my front yard. He lives next door, and I dropped him off. And one of the watchers, stalkers, that comes by my house on a regular basis, particular male, has a dog. This particular day, when I pull up in my front yard, he lets the dog stop and take a shit in the yard. Now, I have this man on recording passing my house at least 50 times, if not 100. I have it recorded. This man has walked past this house on several occasions. Dog never took a dump in the yard. This particular day, they wanted a fight. They wanted an argument. And I'm telling you this story not because I care about this man, not because I care about him, but because it shows the level of debauchery, diabolicalness, evil, hateful, and provoking behavior. They wanted a fight. They wanted me to jump out and, why would you, oh my God. This is what they wanted, because that's where they get their energy, and they can record it. They can record it, send it to the authorities, and say, this is who she is. This is who this person is. This is how this person is. They need to get you on recording being outside of your divine self. I'm probably more so speaking to the chosen ones, because we're getting it. Yeah. If you are of that energy, they want to see you outside of your divine self, arguing with someone about some dog shit in your yard. That's like, and the most interesting part of that whole interaction is that it was right in front of my camera. That's right there in the yard. Anybody on any day could pass that camera and it will record them, especially if they're in my yard. And guess what, y'all? My camera was down. No video. So did it happen? Well, I'll let you decide. I am Dordana. Thank you for rocking with Crown Knowledge Radio. I will be back. You can hear this on Patreon, Substack, YouTube. I will post probably a clip on Instagram and YouTube. I know you're going to show me some love sooner or later. But we'll keep posting, we'll keep talking, we'll keep exposing the devil and bringing this to light for those targeted individuals who are going through this particular type of behavior. Don't forget to go to Spreaker.com and listen to my archive shows. Again, I am Dordana, and thank you for rocking with Crown Knowledge Radio. Goodbye.